Your second card out is a number 2, and it's the sacral chakra area. So this tone of orangey yellow is the sacral tone, which is also emanating a little bit through here, although this is coming up to the solar plexus color, the yellow as well. So for some of you, there may be a block in this part of your body, which is in the lower sort of stomach, hips area. It's our point of creativity. It's where we get ideas. It's where we have passion from. It's where we can be excited and promote activity and action and growth forward for plans, ideas, conception, concepts, constructs. And some of this may be tied into your career modality. For some of you, you may be a bit blocked or stuck or thinking, I want to change, or I want to do something, or I want to get some creativity back, and you may be having some problems with that. You may be in a bit of a lull phase. There could be good reason for this, because timing may be an influence, and perhaps right now, as we've merged over into this new decade, perhaps the energies aren't working significantly enough for you guys to get this rush of creativity or juices flowing. But some of you might be prepared to get rid of any blockages that are also in this area and sort of sweep up a storm of energy and creativity and passion and desire and sensuality, also sexuality. This is the area where conception of a child is formed in the female's body, so it's the sex organ zone. So for some of the ladies viewing out there, there might be something that needs clearing in and around that part of your body, especially if you are trying for a pregnancy. You may need to change a diet or uplift a holistic program or free up that area. Some of you may have pains or problems in this area as well, like ovaries that have got cysts on, or fallopian tube problems, or there are many other disorders, as I'm sure many of you know, that could be causing pain or constriction around that area. And for the older ladies, there's also coming into menopause, which is also in this area here, which may be something that you need to think about at this time in life, or at this time in the cosmic year of February. Also, guys, remember this is a leap year, so February does have an extra day, which is cool for us down here in the southern hemisphere, because we get an extra day of summer, and summer is my favorite season. I love the long days and the short nights. So this is for Sagittarius. What is it that you would like them to focus on, or be aware of, or meditate with, or expand into? Sagittarius for February. Not so many coming out at the moment. We'll see what's in store for you guys. A little more shuffling, otherwise we will move on to another deck. I might pull just a couple off the top. The Ace of Swords, triumphant success, and maybe this is what the planning is involved with, the patience and planning, because this card took a long time to come, this triumphant success. So this card is often about success coming at the cost of something else. Now this card can turn up when you are forming something or structuring something new, such as a business, and that may have been taking time to get the documents in place or to get other parties ready to sign the documents. There may have been hold-ups in a business title or some sort of legal perspective on a name, or a building that you might be renting, or a product that you're thinking of importing or exporting or getting patenting on. This could also turn up when a divorce is taking place, so the finality of the separation of something. And of course that could also have been involved in financial structure for some of you, such as the separating of a marriage or a business where money needs to come back into your hands, and it hasn't as of yet. So there may have been this timing stricture put on that, but it appears that it will be coming. I think this is a little bit later. It might not be right now, especially for those of you listening to this reading in the January portion. It might be coming a little bit later. The Eight of Cups is emotional withdrawal, and this is often about walking away from something that's not serving its purpose anymore. We can see him spending time, this guy here, in meditation on the sand at the beach. So possibly stilling your mind and taking contemplation of some meditation and trying to resolve something that you are possibly thinking of moving away from, whether this be a relationship of some type, or a career choice, or a country, or a philosophy, or a belief system, or something that you've been following that you've known for a little while hasn't really been balanced or addressing happiness within your own life. So oftentimes we get to this point when we are finally acknowledging that there's been something that hasn't worked. It's worked because we've put energy and time into it, and we've put love into it as well, but we're ready to face the fact that it's just time to part ways. So for some of you, this could be relationships, and we saw this with the divorce type card or energy, or the separation of something at the cost of something. And sometimes this can be emotions or relationships, but it always bodes well, this. And the walking away into the new direction also bodes well. It means that you are ready to face the new prosperity and the new options and choices coming into your life. Sometimes it's a bit hard to make that decision, but in taking the step, the first step, you're reigniting the possibilities of new beginnings. One more card from here, and it is 13, the transformation card, which is the death card, which kind of really resonates in terms of new beginnings and walking away from something. I prefer his terminology of the card, which is transformation, and she has the butterfly wings on her back. So we can go through transformation many times in our lives. Some people actually don't. They stay pretty much the way they are their whole adult life. But you go through transformation in terms of from a baby to a child, then from a child to a youngster, and then a youngster to a teenager, and a teenager to an adult. Those are all transformations, but sometimes when we become an adult, we stop that transformational process because we've either fallen into a place where we feel safe or contented, or we feel we have achieved everything that we came here to do. So not everyone goes through major transformations once they're an adult. They might stay very much the same. But for those of you who are on the cusp of some sort of adult transition or transformation, these times can be awe-inspiring and like mind-blowing, but they can also create a little bit of tension and anxiety. And sometimes they can do this also for people around us, because transformation can put us into a situation of leaving others, of walking away, of starting new beginnings. And that doesn't always mean that others come with us. It sometimes means that some others are left behind. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it can create situations around this where a separation or a divorce takes place, or just the leaving of something behind. And as I said before, it may be the new beginning of a new business or concept or idea, but you've dropped something off in the background for it to occur. The Eight of Swords, so you have another 8, and the 8 of Swords is a little bit of anxiety and trepidation about perhaps the new journey coming forward. And I just mentioned that transformation can cause this to happen, that it is a part of the process, but for some of us we find that a bit daunting. So there are ways of moving into addressing that, and some of that is shadow work, like dealing with yourself and this shadow side, of which often we don't face, or we box up, or we put it away because of situations such as other people in our lives, or we have signed like a deal between relationships, and this might even be at a soul deal where we will not open ourselves fully, but we will follow a pattern, or we will follow the road of a relationship without really questioning it. So sometimes when we start doing shadow work or soul work, or we go through transformation, we feel this looseness, I guess, this fluid changing in the background, and it creates this discombobulation or this gentle expansion or coming apart or drifting away, and that's where some of this anxiety comes from. So as we come back to that, the other 8, meditating and spending time in contemplative thought, especially about oneself and what one is going through, can help to loosen the ties of anxiety and allow the flow of natural creativity to come back in and bring a lighter load to our emotional body and our spiritual body as well. So this card often denotes just that need to take the step forward, to progress something forward and to not fear it. It's a little bit like the saying, feel the fear and do it anyway. That's very much what that card is representing. The other one that came through from this was the Queen of Swords, and she is often an air sign person. So there may be an air sign related in some of this energy around you. It could very well be someone who you already know, like a family member, or a community friend, and she could be playing a role in some of this decision making that you're making, the thoughts of walking away or leaving something behind. For others of you, she could be someone who is helping with legal documentation, because she's very good with words and documents. So she could be like a lawyer, a mentor, a psychologist, a counsellor, an accountant, a tax person, something along those lines as well. So if we do just a couple more out of the Morgan Greer deck for Sagittarius for February, we'll see what more is coming. The Magician, there's magic in the air. And when there's magic in the air, you have to grab it, because he is an alchemist in truth, and to create alchemic reactions of change, you have to mix something with another to get the change. So sitting and waiting for the magician's magic to just be thrown into your life will never work. So the magician, although it is magic, and that is amazing when these times come, he is magic by decree of hard work, or effort, or implementation, or acknowledgement, or something that you have to actually do. Now if you look, there's an 8 up here, and there's another 8 down here. So you've got some 8s that have come through because you've also had these other 2 8s. So Taurus also had a lot of 8s coming into their reading, and 8s often represent this karmic energy, and at the moment through this period of January there has been a lot of karmic release happening for many people. It's something to do with the way the planets are aligned, because the big planets that are moving and shaking things up at the moment are the outer planets, which take like a 2,000 to 3,000 year cycle of repetitive movement. So what we're going through now on Earth we haven't seen for 2,000 or 3,000 years. Hence these very new energies and feelings that we are going through. We also have to throw into that mix something even rarer, and that is the transition into the age of Aquarius and moving out of Pisces. So as humanity, we are going through times of change that we have no recorded understanding or historical knowledge of. So this is why this is so deep and powerful for us as well. Now the 8s being never-ending life and karmic lives, so past life interactions, are representing that for a lot of people there's been some karmic release. Now karma can play out in many ways, and oftentimes it can be health related. It can also be related to family lineage and DNA issues. So for some of you, you might find a relief or a lifting or some sort of unbuttoning of something that feels lighter. You may not even be able to put your finger on it, but somewhere in your soul something will have been accredited. It's like having been to university or college, and you've done all your time there, you've sat all your exams, and you've finally passed the last one, which is part of a degree. And this is like being handed the degree because you've been through all the learning curves. And after that degree has been handed to you, you've freed something up. So that's kind of the best way to explain it. But there's a lot of karmic release coming for people at different levels for every individual person. Oh my goodness, son. The Hanged Man is another timing card. So we had the timing, the very first card, and he often refers to getting to a crossroad in life and having to make a really important decision. Do I go left or right, up or down? Do I stay with this person or do I go? So it's an intense card in many ways. It often has a halo around the head in other decks, which means some sort of illumination or understanding or awareness or epiphany. Now, he can often take time out, again like this, in contemplation to make these decisions about what is best for him as he moves forward. It can also represent things being stalled a little bit, so requiring this patience, and that galactic timing may be involved in some decisions or relationships that are going on around you. I also note often for this card that there can be something happening in the head area, such as pain, like headaches, eye pain, teeth, or throat issues that some of you may need to get seen. Also, you may need your back straightened or your shoulders or something like that, some sort of manipulation or healing. So just another couple here for Sagittarius from the Morgan Greer. That's one. The Queen of Rods, another queen for you. She is a fire sign energy. Perhaps these two queens that have come in are playing a role. As I said, they could be family members or people within your community that you are dealing with at one level or another. She's very creative, the Queen of Rods. She could, the queens also could be for some of you potential new people that come into your life, whether they're new romances or new friends at a deep level, one way or another. So some of you might be moving to places or spending time with new people that you have met for a special journey for one reason or another. The Eight of Pentacles is about being very adept at your job and being physical with your hands. Sometimes it's a craft that you have been doing using your hands one way or another. So like a producer of something or a maker of something. It can also refer to writing. Now, it came out reversed, so it's still making me think there is a bit of a block in this area. And this card often refers to the base chakra, and it's another 8. So we've got some more 8s here for you. I think 8 is a focus, so there is still a timing issue. There's still a bit of a block around something. There could be a block for some of you around a career, around money coming in that you've been waiting on. I still think this is coming and it's forming some sort of structure. It is not fully delivered yet. So there may be a hold up in money. There may have even been money kept back for some reason, or falling off or falling out because it's upside down. You get the feeling of these coins falling. And the other thing again with this card, it can also represent these back issues. This back issue is at the bottom. So although this one represents the top around here, this one can represent hips, thighs, buttocks and lower back. I'm definitely thinking some of you have got like an alignment problem or a spine problem, or you're needing freeing up. It could also represent that you need this chakra up the base unblocked, the sacral unblocked, and maybe even the head unblocked to allow the flow of energy through at the, chakra level, which helps creativity, which helps allow the blockages to flow. Let's see if we can put all these 8s together. Even though this is a card number 1, we've got the 8 depicted on here. And we've got another 8. So we've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 representing with the 8 on them at this point in time. And what are these two? The 4 of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups, and they reverse onto each other and turn into the opposite number. Again, this is holding money tight, like a fear of losing it, or afraid to invest it, or thinking that you have lost some. There's something about your money that you're either contemplating or worried about, or a flow has ceased, or you're clinging to it for one reason or another. You definitely need to free up any anxiety or worry around money. Let it flow at a greater pace. This guy here, he does have ample money, but he worries about it. Sometimes this card can mean that money can be betrothed to you through a family member especially, but often it has limitations or expectations that come with it. So you might be gifted some money but asked to go and visit a great aunt or a grandma, to get the money. And speaking of that, this card is a lovely card to turn up. Most people consider it the card of happy love, definitely children or childhood, or going back in time, so revisiting the past for some reason. And it could be associated with this card since they came out together. And this might be where you are either finding some money from the past, or you are spending money to get to something in the past, like going back to a family home, doing something with the family home, redecorating it, or spending money on it, or purchasing it, or moving to a different country back to where you were from a child, or something about children that could be involved with this money and possibly house, or possibly even a job, or shifting. So some of you might be shifting and taking a new job that pays a bit less, but it's because of children or families for some reason. Some of you may attend events where you meet up with friends or families from the past and you rekindle positive, happy memories. And some of you, this is an indicator of a lover coming in, and it's a person you've known before and sometimes a previous lover.